Hopefully I'm going to have time to upload 2 videos today for the 2nd and 3rd week of the YouTube Pagan Challenge. Questions. I enjoy watching everybody's. I'm not quite caught up with all of the videos yet, but I'm hoping to do that in the next couple of days. I've just returned from a trip from the mountains. I just spent like 5 days up a little over 7,000 feet. And for someone who lives at sea level, that's a little bit of an adjustment for me, especially when I come back. I have a little bit of problems with altitude, understandably with the altitude. And then it's taken me a little longer to acclimate myself now that I'm back home. It was very lovely. We were in the snow, and I had even taken my camera with me, hoping that I might have the time to upload some videos while I was there, but I, of course, did not get to it. Not so surprising. Excuse me. Anyway, I'm going to do this one, week 2, and then hopefully I'll have time today to at least record week 3. I think then I'll be caught up. But anyway, this will be short, probably be short. But this one was sort of a very timely question. The question for week 2 was, are you in or out of the closet? Well, the reason I say that was very timely was when I first wanted to respond to topic 1, week 1, which was how you found your path. I made a reference. I thought, well, this is very simple because that happened to be the subject of my very first YouTube video. And I just thought, well, I can very easily just post a link to that video and for you to see. I thought, wouldn't that be wonderful? So I posted what I thought was the link to the video, and I waited and waited, and you know, it just didn't show up at all on the page, on the group page, and I wasn't getting any responses, and I'm thinking, well, that's a little odd, you know, that I don't see it, but you know, Facebook is sometimes very tricky with that kind of thing. So I waited and waited, and eventually I got a hit. Somebody had commented on my video, and I went to see who had commented on my video, and it was a good friend of mine. And I'm thinking, well, that was nice of her to comment, but is she on YouTube? I mean, is she a pagan? Is she? Well, no, she's not. She just, I had posted it on my wall, I guess, rather than on the YouTube pagan page, group page. I had posted it on my regular, where you post your regular comments or whatever. And so I was very much out of the closet, at least for about an hour or so, until I was able to delete that link and put it where it belongs. Betty White, you don't belong there. Betty White. Yeah. It's foreboding that she's in here. She got in. So anyway, back to the subject. So for about an hour and a half, I was very much out of the closet. Now, fortunately, I do live in a different time zone, and most of my local friends and family, I don't think were paying that much attention at that time. So we'll see. Not that I'm in the closet. Okay, so that's where I am. I would consider that I am, I guess you would consider that I am. What is going on? Betty White? Oh, I can't even say. Do you really think that's where you're going to sit? Honestly. Oh dear. Okay. Is this going to work? I don't even know if this is going to work. There we go. I'm at the age, I'm 60, how old am I? 63. Am I 63? I think I'm 63 years old. And my parents are deceased. My husband's parents are deceased. There's really no one around. My children are grown that is really going to care one way or the other about me being a pagan or things like that. I think my children, as far as my children know, they know who I am. I've been very open with my children, and we don't really talk about it too much. But they, you know, I don't hide things from my children. Never have. Of course, friends who come into my house are very aware of. They see things around the house, and you know, they they don't question me. My friends are very, very open-minded for the most part. I think the way that that works is we may not agree. I realize that maybe my friends do not share the same path as me. They don't share the same path as, you know, some of them are very religious, some are not all religious, some are conservative, some are liberal. Like everybody, you know, you have those kind of things in your family and in your circles. And so we just really don't dwell too much on them, on those kind of subjects. So in that case, I'm out of the closet, I'm open. We do have our own business, and I have to say, I'm not going to publicly say anything about my private spiritual life around our business associates, our customers. Although, you know, we do live in Southern California, our clients, our customers are mainly interior designers who, you know, are pretty odd themselves, have a little bit of some oddities about their own lives. So I don't think it would be a big deal. Some of their you know, clients that we work with are very famous. Some are very famous, some are very rich. And to be all honest, to those people, for the most part, we are pretty invisible. We are low enough in the totem pole that, you know, as long as we don't make too much noise or make their house dirty or whatever, they don't really see us. So, so in that part, we're pretty open. Now, I do want to say, it has always been that way, and I want to address just one thing for I know most of you watching or doing this challenge are very much younger than me, and do not have the same circumstances I do. You probably have, you know, parents, maybe you're even living in your parents' home, or you're just starting out on careers, or whatever, and so you must be what we call in the closet. And I'm not trying to be flippant about it, by saying that, you know, at my age I realized that it's really nobody's business, because that's really not true of everybody's circumstance. But I do want to say, for the purpose of maybe trying to provide some kind of useful information for you today that you can use, I'm going to pretend for a minute that I am younger and that I do live in a different, you know, my parents maybe are still alive, or my business maybe depends on my discretion, etc. And I want to try to remember back to those times and how I dealt with things with these people when it was a subject that we might have discord on. And I will say that for the most part in all those cases, I just gave a little bit. I didn't volunteer anything that was not necessary to a conversation. My life is my own, since I've had my own home, since I moved out of my father's house at age 19. My home is my own. Not that they haven't tried to, my parents in the past and my in-laws in the past didn't try to influence my direction in very many cases, and my children's direction. So I'm very sensitive to how that happens in a lot of families. And I'm still saying that I was still able to, in my life, be very true to myself by not volunteering more than was necessary to any conversation. I might not wear a pentagram around my neck. That doesn't mean I might not have it in my home somewhere that is discreet. Okay, I mentioned in other videos that I've been reading tarot since I was in college. And when I was in college, I was still living in my father's house. I was still practicing, according to my parents, a practicing Presbyterian. Afterwards, when I was married and a young mother and very influenced by my in-laws, even though I moved thousands of miles away, they still kept their influence, and I was at that time a Catholic. And during those times, I still read tarot. My children knew I read tarot. I think my in-laws knew it. My mother visited here one summer when she was in her 70s at least, maybe late 70s, perhaps close to 80. And we went to the Ren Fair, and to my surprise, she decided she wanted to have a palm reading she had never had in her whole life. Now that was something that was perhaps contrary to what I thought was her comfort zone. And, you know, my point is, the reason for bringing it up is, unless you say to somebody, oh, did I tell you I'm a witch and I cast spells and blah, 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 whatever you say. For the most part, people don't notice, you know, little tiny subtle things that are around them that maybe are something that you do. So what I'm saying is, even those of you who are in the closet still and you're sort of suffering because of that, there are ways for you to be true to yourself and not offensive to other people, and not worry other people, not cause your mother distress or cause your children distress or your coworkers distress. Some things just don't need to be shared. Some things are, you know, private, and like, you don't know the details of their lives. They don't have to know all the details of your life. Then you can still be true. One of my very good friends is close to my age, but she's very conservative, religious woman. She is a Methodist. I think she's a Methodist. She she knows that I'm a pagan. She knows that I was raised a Christian, and I still have very strong ties to Christianity. She has more problems. I want to say, I think she has more problems with the Blessed Mother than she has with me being a pagan. And I'm not sure exactly what, but that sort of seems to bother her. But my point is, we don't really discuss it. You know, there are times when it might come up, but we don't really discuss it. And if that's a point that's going to be a part of something subject of discord with us, we leave it alone. And I think that's the greatest wisdom I want to pass along to you. It's not keeping things private. It's just not stirring the, you know, don't stir the pot where you don't have to stir it. Okay? So anyway, I guess that's my answer. I'm in it. I'm out of the closet, but I'm still private. I think that's the wisest decision most of us make. Now, yes, in this community, I'm very public, and yes, I'm, you know, my family, I do want to say my family knows that I'm starting up a website and some other things that are very pagan, but, you know, I'm probably not going to share the link with them. If they find it, they do, but it's just not something that we have in common, that interest in common, so we don't bring it up. Well, I think this is a pretty nothing video. I don't know, but I just thought it's interesting. I like to see everybody else's comments on whether they are in or out of the closet. I was amused again with the fact that I sort of flew out of the closet there for about an hour and a half on Facebook, but other than that, and you know, I'm a pretty private person. Not secretive, just private. Anyway, thank you for listening. I'm sorry this is sort of boring, but anyway, thank you for listening, and I will try to upload the second video today that I wanted to do, which was on week 3, which I'll try to do. Anyway, thank you for coming to my channel. As always, I send you blessings, and I'm Rebecca.